Hey everyone, welcome to LinguaLab, exploring the language with us. I'm Mario.
And I'm Fátima. Today's episode is called Switch It Up, the power of mixing languages. We're talking about how multilingual speakers move between languages and styles in everyday life.
Right, and we'll be connecting ideas from chapters 4 and 5 of Jones and Themis Clues, who explore how code switching, code mixing, crossing, and translanguaging reflect not just language, but identity, culture, and relationships.
Okay, so let's to start to get into it. Let's start simple. What's code switching?
According to Jones and Themis Clues, it's when a speaker alternates between two languages or varieties in a single conversation, but it's not random. It usually carries meaning. For example, a bilingual speakers might switch to how respect, closeness, or even authority.
Yeah, like when my aunt says something in English, but when she gets serious, she switches to Spanish, like, te lo digo en serio. And that switch adds emotional intensity, and it's almost like changing languages to change the mood.
Exactly, and it shows how multilingual people use language as a tool, not just to communicate, but to express identity and emotion.
And now, code mixing is a bit different. It's when you mix elements of both languages within in one sentence, like saying, let's tomar un break, or estoy feeling tired.
Right, and Jones and Themis Clues point out that these practices blur the boundaries between languages. That where translanguaging comes in. It's not about switching back or on forth. It's about using your full linguistic repertoire as one system.
I've been I've seen that a lot with bilingual kids. When I was tutoring or teaching, one student said once, "Teacher, puedo go to the bathroom?" And she wasn't confused, so she was just drawing from both languages naturally.
Yes, translanguaging shows how multilingual people don't separate their languages. They combine them fluidly to make meaning. It's a sign of competence, not confusion.
And then there's the crossing, which happens when someone uses a language variety that doesn't belong to their usual social group. Like when non Black people use African American vernacular English in maybe big TikTok videos or music.
Exactly. It can be a way to show solidarity or connect with others, but it also can cross a line if it's undone without understanding the cultural background. Johnson Themit Clues emphasize that crossing reveals social boundaries of power. Who gets to use certain varieties and who doesn't?
So it's not just linguistic, it's social and maybe sometimes even political.
Totally. You can even see it in how English words get borrowed in local slang. For instance, here in Monterrey, you sometimes hear people saying that's so cringe or que random, but they are not totally speaking English. It's a kind of crossing using a different linguistic variety to sound part of a certain group, often younger, more internet oriented or influenced by American pop culture.
Yeah, it can be positive also, like expressing global identity or being trendy, but also controversial. I remember someone in my class trying to imitate a gringo person, the accent to sound cool. Some classmates laughed, but others found it uncomfortable. It shows that even small linguistic choices carry meaning about power, culture, and belonging.
Exactly. Or take reggaeton. So many Mexican scenes say things like mami, bellaqueo, flow, or mi king. Those words come from Puerto Rican or Caribbean Spanish varieties. So when we use them in the north of Mexico, it's a form of crossing to adopting another community expressions, often because of admiration of pop culture influence.
That's a great example. And it shows that language isn't fixed to geography anymore. We cross linguistic borders even every day through music, memes, or social media.
So when Jones and Thermiclus talk about crossing, they also reminded us that language reflects our social identities. Who we sound like says a lot about who we want to be or who we feel connected to. Now, a little bit of our real life reflections. When I think about it, I realize I code switch all time. Like when I talk with my professors versus when I talk to my friends. It's not even about languages sometimes, it's about tone, style, and even body language.
Same here. I mix Spanish and English constantly with my friends. I said sometimes, ya hiciste el homework, feels completely natural to me. It's just how my brain works, mixing the languages.
I totally get that. For me, it happens a lot home. My mom always tell me, ay Mario, háblame bien. No enredes tanto el inglés. But it's just natural. Like when I come back from class, I say, Mama, ya entregué mis assignments. I don't even know types I'm missing.
That's so relatable. In my case, I just English phrases when something sounds softer or more expressive. For example, when I argue with my sister, I'll say something like, "Come on, don't be like that," and it feels less harsh than saying, "Oye, no seas así." Maybe it's just the emotional tone that English carries for me.
It's funny how our emotions decide which language comes out. When I'm stressed, Spanish takes over. Like during finals in the Uni in Monterrey, I'll be like, ya no puedo más con esto, está horrible. But then, once I calm down, I switch back to English without realizing it.
Exactly. And it even depends on the setting. In Monterey, English is kind of everywhere in coffee shops, in ads, even in everyday slang. I hear some people say like, voy al mall or tengo que checar este email. That's code mixing in real life, and nobody even thinks about it.
True. It's part of the identity here, especially among young people or those who studied in bilingual schools. Switching between English and Spanish almost becomes a marker of social belonging.
Right. When I work part time at a coffee shop in San we always greet people like, "Hola, what can I get you?" It wasn't planned. It just matched the vibe. But when older customers came, I immediately switched to full Spanish for them. That's code switching with a purpose to adapt to who you are talking to.
This reminds me of my cousin who studied in the US. When he visits, he meets everything. Pasamos por los sacos. I'm starving. My uncle teases him, but honestly, I just he is his way of being both Mexican and international at the same time.
Exactly. That's what Jones and Themistocles argue in the chapter. Language use reflects identity negotiation, and we are constantly adjusting between cultures, roles, or relationships.
And I think it's that why multilingual feels creative, not chaotic. It's how we express ourselves fully, mixing humor, emotion, and belonging in just one conversation.
So we are almost at the finish of this episode. So when we talk about code switching or translanguaging, we're really talking about people navigating different worlds between languages, maybe in the linguistic, cultural, and emotional.
Totally. Multilingual practices are just about mixing languages. They're about belonging, express who we are, and adapting to the moment.
And that's what makes language so human. It's never fixed, it's alive, flexible, and personal.
Couldn't agree more. We are to the finish of the end of this podcast. Thanks, turning to the LinguaLab, exploring the language with us, and until next time, keep switching.